Ladies and gentlemen, I would now ask you to rise for the convocation procession of graduates, faculty, and the stage party. Graduands, would you please rise? Please remain standing for the First Nations welcome by Elder Titelum Spath followed by the singing of O Canada by Renee Bullitt.
OCMCIA, A tel squalawel quels queslala equala talawale, Eatlum spath tel wilmuk squich, Eddie Gardner tel wilitum squich, Ya A amit te setso A swale talawale. Yes, you quasai ami tes wilmuk tes quilquils. Yes, you quasai. Lalams te Selyolaqua equala, te Iwastulak equala, te Lalams te CM, te UFV. My dear ones, my name is Taitlam Spath. That's my Wilmuk name. My nickname is Eddie Gardner. I'm the elder for the Aboriginal Access Center here at UFV, and I share that responsibility with Teresa and Neil to encourage our Aboriginal students to achieve the highest academic excellence. And here today, we're here to celebrate a great day of celebration for some outstanding achievements, some quite remarkable achievements by our graduates. This is a very special day. And it gives me great pleasure to thank each and every one of you for coming to be here, to be a part of this. Thank you to all the professors, the teachers, instructors. Thank you to the Board of Governors. Thank you to the Senate of UFV. Thank you for putting all this together, this special day. We are the people of the river. We are the salmon people. We've lived in this territory for thousands of years, and we care for it. And now we share this beautiful land with you. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this grand celebration of our students today. So I'm going to say a prayer to bless this gathering. O Chicha Siem, ta aloha iwastoch, ta atlimacha salawa, chi thomatzit walam ta cha cha tamach thatau, chi thomatzit walam ta kos behaus kes yuk. O Chicha Siem, please the mukwat equala talawel. A kwam cha tali tis arts qualwell, walam ka ita til tlawel. Mamiasto, kasla with it. Squeakles, CM, A, CIS, CM. A quashaculis tit, tis iwas yasialaquat, che thamat atlam kumakstam. A quasta as, UCM, yaku quasai.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all our songs command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God give our land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. You have certainly earned it. I declare the University of the Fraser Valley's convocation in session. My name is Brad Whitaker. I'm Director of Research Services and Industry Liaison at the University of the Fraser Valley. It is my pleasure to be your MC and to welcome you to this, the final of 3 convocation ceremonies. If you turn to page 44, that's page 44 of your program, you will be able to follow along with this afternoon's ceremony. To those of you watching from afar via our live webcast, welcome. I would now like to acknowledge some special guests who are joining us this afternoon, and I'll ask them to stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause until all the introductions have been made. On stage, we have Dr. Brian Minter, Chancellor. Dr. Mark Everett, President and Vice Chancellor. Tony Luck, Alumni Board Chair and Acting Mayor of the District of Mission. Penny Park, our honorable degree recipient. Larry Stinson, Chair of the Board of Governors, and several members of the Board of Governors. We also have members of the Senate, members of the senior administration team. Shane Potter, UFV Student Union Society President, and all the faculty here today have come to support their students. Please stand. I give you the stage party. In our VIP section, just in front of the stage, we have Her Worship Mayor Sharon Gates from the City of Chilliwack. And Dr. Karen Nelson from the Fraser Cascade School District Number 78 Superintendent. Welcome. We've received a letter from the Honorable Michael DeYoung, who says, regrettably, government duties require me to be out of the community for today. Sincerest congratulations to all of who are graduating. Be rightfully proud of your accomplishments. And I am certain the graduates of 2013 will be as equally proud to say they have received their degrees and diplomas from such a fine institution of higher learning. Bravo and congratulations. Sincerely, Michael DeYoung, Minister of Finance, MLA, Abbotsford West. I'd also like to offer special thanks to our drummers, Glenn Malloway, Donovan Malloway, and Richie Seward from the Suhaley First Nations in Chilliwack, our UFE elder, Tiktalam Spath, as well as to our musicians from V&G Music, Stephen Bullitt on guitar, and Renee Bullitt on vocals and violin. Let me take this opportunity to thank Civil Radio, that's CIVL 101.7 FM on your dial, for broadcasting our ceremony live across the valley. I now call on Dr. Brian Minter, Chancellor of the University of the Fraser Valley, for his convocation address.
Thank you, Brad. Welcome to the highlight of our year at the University of the Fraser Valley. Our First Nations friends, honored guests, families and friends of our graduates, thank you for being here. At this university, we don't stand on pomp and ceremony. Relax, enjoy this afternoon's graduation. We are all about being warm, real, and genuine. But to our families and friends of the graduates, thank you for your unwavering support for the students. As we heard from many students in the last two convocations, it's far more than you realize, and it sometimes makes all the difference. To our president, to our vice presidents, deans, our full faculty and staff who are truly amazing, our volunteer boards and senates, we have essentially a dream team who give up everything to ensure that every student has an opportunity for success. And that is always paramount. That's our values and our culture of this university. To the students, you have to know that you're the only reason we exist. And by the way, thank you for choosing us. You had many other choices. We're very grateful that you chose this university, and we hope it's had a positive influence on your life so far. And students, by the way, ever since you were so high, everybody's been giving you advice. They're still giving you advice, and as you move on, they're going to keep on giving you advice. But there are a few things in life that have made a difference to me. I'd like to share them with you. Number one, always be and stay positive, no matter what the world of negativity would throw at you. It's like a beacon of light in darkness, and people want to be around positive people. Number two, and we heard this from a student this morning, embrace failure. It's the best teacher of how to navigate your future. And number three, and this is what our university is truly all about, critically think everything you hear, read, and do. Do not believe everything you read on the internet or in the media. It's your takeaway, your one important takeaway from this university. Critically think everything. And also, in your goals in life, put yourself in the best possible position, that place you need to succeed. And that means breaking down your comfort zones. And as our student this morning also said, life is all about finding a passion. You need to be excited about getting up in the morning. You need to be excited about life. It's finding whatever in life gets you excited and makes you passionate. Don't ever lose that. And you'll find very quickly, as you already have, that life does not make appointments. It's not a true test of who we are when things go well. The true test is when things don't go well, when things go wrong, and it seems insurmountable. I always appreciate the Asian nations who have the greatest respect for a tree that would grow out on a rocky crag, beat on by the winds and the weather. And you know, it never breaks, it bends. It's a thing of beauty. That's the true test of who we are. But most of all, today's a day for having fun. You need to smile always and laugh at yourself. Sometimes it's the only antidote to all the tough stuff we face. And as you leave here today as our alumni, you are now our representatives in the world. And as you travel and live and work around the world, as so many of our students are already doing, do it with class and style. And remember, we're Canadians. And always exemplify those great values of Canadians. Students, we're so proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Minter. I now call on Dr. Mark Everett, President and Vice Chancellor of the University of the Fraser Valley, to come forward with his address to the class of 2013.
Thank you, Brad Kwasai. Thank you, Chancellor, for those inspiring words. Eswael, Siem Siaya. Welcome to all of you. Like Brian, I'm absolutely delighted that you're here with us today. You know, in our communities, we seem to find fewer and fewer opportunities to come together like this, but today we do. Not to be entertained, but to share in the celebration of talent, hard work, educational achievement, and the promise that that brings. And what a celebration. This year at our university, over 2,000 students will receive credentials. As Brian indicated, we especially welcome family and friends. Please know that we hold our convocation not just for our students, but for you as well. It is a small way for us to say thank you to you for the many ways you have inspired and supported our students and our university. This is also an opportunity to publicly recognize the talented faculty and staff of our university. It is no exaggeration to state that we wouldn't be here if it were not for their passion, their skill, and their commitment. They do this quite simply because they care. They are with us this afternoon as a demonstration of how much they care. And as president, I express my sincere gratitude to them all. And that's not all. As Brian indicated, we're joined by another remarkable group of professionals who care deeply. The community members who serve on our Board of Governors, our Senate, our alumni board, our advisory committees and councils, various support groups, and indeed that does include our chancellor as well. These are people who voluntarily give their time and often their financial support for our work. Our shared celebration also includes the leaders of various levels of government who clearly share our vision and commitment. This university and these students would not be here without their public and personal support. And today we come together to celebrate that too. And finally, we are joined in this celebration by former students of the University of the Fraser Valley, our alumni. What a remarkable way for them to demonstrate their appreciation of the university experience and its contribution to their success. They continue to enrich our university, and like senior brothers and sisters, they join us in celebrating and welcoming these new alumni before us. Why do I think it is so important that we come together on such an occasion for such a celebration? Quite simply, because we all benefit. I'm sure each of you have your favorites among the graduates here today, but I'm delighted that you're here to celebrate in the success of all of these students, because we will all benefit from the knowledge, the skills, the critical thinking, and the creativity of these graduates. All these things they will bring to our community. Their success will make our communities, indeed our world, healthier, safer, stronger, wealthier, and not just in an economic sense, but also in the richness of the social and the cultural development that they will inspire. We will all benefit, so thank you all for joining us in this celebration of these graduates. Graduates, you've been patient. Graduates, please know that all of us, all these people in the room, are here for you, and we're here because of you. It seems not long ago that I welcomed many of you to the university, and here you are ready to move on. I know many of you personally, and I know many of you face some incredible challenges, but you embraced them. You made the necessary sacrifices, you stuck it out, and you succeeded. You've definitely earned the right to be proud. But I know that many of you have also experienced the humility that a good education brings, particularly the humility that comes from learning that there's just so much more learning to do. There's just so much more left to learn, and to learn that the struggles have really just begun. But take confidence, because I do. Take confidence in knowing that you will reach into the unknown, not just with a credential in hand, but you will reach into that future with a strong foundation of your studies behind you. Build on what you know. Embrace with enthusiasm and confidence the new opportunities for creativity and service that lie ahead. Be humbled by what you don't know, but be proud of what you do. And don't be shy about tackling the tough stuff. I'm truly confident that you can and you will change those things that are not quite right in our world. Be inspired by people like the remarkable woman who will receive an honorary doctorate here this afternoon, and know that you too can make a difference. And definitely Don't be listening to the rubbish about useless university credentials. Everyone seems to have their favorite anecdote about the unemployed graduate. Funny stories maybe, but rarely true. So I thought I would share with you some facts. The fact, dear friends, and I speak to the guests as well as the students, is that many of these graduates before us have already lined up the next stage of their education or have been offered a job already. Many of our graduates cannot join us for convocation because they're already working. The fact, based on both Canadian statistics and recent British Columbia statistics, is that within 6 months of graduating, about 90% of those students, those graduates seeking work, will have found employment. Yes, sometimes it might be in entry-level positions. What else would we be expecting? But I can assure you those graduates don't stay in those entry-level positions very long. The fact is that about 3/4 of these graduates will find employment right away in areas, in jobs that are directly related to their education. And within 2 years, that figure climbs to well over 90%. Not all of our students, of course, will be moving into those kinds of careers because some of our graduates report that they are working in new fields that they hadn't previously considered. But even there, it is their education that opened the door, and they continue to draw directly on the knowledge and particularly the critical thinking skills and creative talent developed during their post-secondary studies. Some of you will even create your own jobs, and soon a number of you will be working in fields that don't even exist today, not even in our imagination. That's the rate of change ahead of us. I was reflecting recently that some years back, obviously, if I had told my parents that my career aspiration was to run a web-based business, they'd have thought I was nuts. No one could have figured out how I was going to make a living off spiders. Obviously, the world has changed. Technological development, especially in communication, and the global interconnectedness that brings is driving rapid changes in our environment and in our social, cultural, political, and economic lives. New occupations are developing daily. All this is driving the need for new ways to navigate, to manage, and lead in this increasingly complex world, and to do so in ways that stay true to what we value most and in ways that leave no one behind. That's a remarkable opportunity, and of course, it's a remarkable challenge. But graduates, please understand clearly that today we do not push you out the door, say goodbye, and abandon you. Our relationship does not end today. It starts in a new, fresh way. As of today, you become alumni of the University of the Fraser Valley, permanent members of our UFV family. Our futures are intertwined. Not only do we want you to stay connected and involved, bluntly, we need you to. At the very least, let us know how you're doing. Your success is our success, and we want to hear about that. Also draw on the friendships, the partnerships, the relationships, the networks that you've built here, including those with our faculty and staff. And if you value your experience at this university, think about ways that you can pass on to the next generation of students what you value and keep this university strong. There are plenty of opportunities to do this through our Alumni Association, and right after I shake your hand as you cross this stage, you will be welcomed by alumni of this university. Congratulations to you all, and the very best wishes for success. I know I speak for all of us at the University of the Fraser Valley when I say it's been an incredible honor to serve you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Everett. This afternoon, we are pleased to present UFV's Research Excellence Award. I now ask Dr. Adrian Chan, our Associate Vice President of Research Engagement and Graduate Studies, to come forward to make this presentation.
Thank you, Brad. I'm very pleased and honored to be here at the podium to award this recipient of the Research Excellence Award. Dr. Noam Weinberg is a professor and research scientist at UFV's Department of Chemistry. Noam teaches and runs UFV's Molecular Modeling Lab. And if you don't know what that is, Noam can explain that to you in about 100 words and you will understand it. Since its creation in 2001, approximately 50 undergraduate students from various departments, including chemistry, biology, physics, and math, and computing, have benefited from the lab and its work on interdisciplinary projects. Noam likes teaching in a classroom setting, but his work in the research lab is where he finds passion and joy. This passion is part of what makes Noam so excellent at what he does. Molecular modeling is part of his specialty. It is an interdisciplinary field where computers and numerical methods of applied mathematics are used to solve problems. Noam has watched with pride his research students who have gone on to win awards, to graduate school, to medical school, teaching, and so many other careers. His students also go on to be researchers in their own right and come back to visit us at UFV. In recognition of his dedication to research, his mentorship of so many UFV students, and his international reputation in the field of computational chemistry and molecular modeling, it is my pleasure to present the 2013 Research Excellence Award to Dr. Noam Weinberg.
Thank you, Dr. Chan, and congratulations, Dr. Weinberg. The name of our new Research Excellence Award winner will be inscribed on a plaque displayed outside the Advancement Office at the Abbotsford campus. We are now delighted to confer the third of 3 honorary doctorate degrees being presented for 2013, the highest honor we can bestow at UFV. Honorary degrees are conferred honorary causa, for the sake of honor, and recognition by the University of the Fraser Valley of distinguished and achievement or outstanding service. I now call on Mr. Lawrence Stinson, Chair of the UFV Board of Governors, to come to the podium to introduce our third honorary degree recipient.
Thank you, Brad. This afternoon, UFV is pleased to honor Ms. Penny Park. Ms. Park is a biologist by training and a communications specialist by vocation. She works and lives in Ontario, but has had a real influence on our understanding and knowledge of science across the whole country. Penny is probably best known for her work as producer with Quirks and Quarks, the award-winning weekly science program on CBC Radio. She also worked for the Discovery Channel, developing the show The Daily Planet about science and technology. Now, today, she continues to promote science and educate as the Executive Director of the Science Media Centre of Canada. This non-profit charitable organization works to ensure Canadians receive better information and reporting about science. For her ongoing work promoting science, I now ask our Chancellor, Dr. Brian Minter, to return to the podium to bestow this honorary degree on Penny Park. Dr. Minter.
Penny, would you please step forward? I'd also like to ask Dr. Everett to assist me in bestowing this honorary degree. Chair Stinson, Dr. Everett, honored guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, on the advice of the Honorary Degree Selection Committee and the Senate of the University of the Fraser Valley, I am pleased to hereby confer this honorary doctorate of letter degree on Ms. Penny Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Penny Park.
I'd like to thank the University of the Fraser Valley so much for this honor. Not just for me, but it's tremendous recognition for the Science Media Centre of Canada and the hardworking staff and the volunteer committee members and board members who strive to make science accessible to the public and available to the public and raise the level of discourse on science in Canada. The honor that is paid me today is particularly satisfying because in a modest way, it appears that what I've dedicated my life to has been seen to be consequential. And so now I get to, in return, impart briefly some lessons I've learned along the way. Don't roll up your eyes. Actually, it's, as I'm sure you know, it's a challenge to offer advice even to the best of friends. To attempt to do so with strangers in just a few minutes seems almost foolhardy. But in actual fact, the main lesson I want to talk about, actually the Chancellor has mentioned as well, and it's a lesson that I think you've already learned while you were here, and you've learned it through experience. And you mustn't forget it when you walk outside these doors. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. In his recent book, Brilliant Blunders, Mario Livio writes that more than 20% of Einstein's original papers had errors in it. Science is strewn with accidents, failures, misdirection. The Post-it note, a failed attempt to create superglue. Penicillin, somebody forgot to clean the Petri dish for a couple of weeks. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he finally invented the light bulb. When a young reporter asked Edison how it felt to fail so many times, his response was he never actually failed once. His invention of the light bulb just happened to be a 2,000-step process. So on this happy day, as each one of you celebrates your achievements, I'd like you to cast your mind back over the past few years to the challenges you faced to actually get here, those times of tears and exhaustion, of heartbreak and hopelessness, the times that you might even have felt the sting of failure. Today, basking in your success, too frequently we forget the resilience that it took to actually make it here, that brought us back from defeat and accomplished more than we ever thought possible. Remember that failure is an inevitable part of life and, in fact, an essential key to success. I came to my career as a science journalist on a bit of a tortuous path, strewn with false starts, diversions, and failure. But it led to work that was fulfilling, exciting, and gave my life purpose. Again, discover your passion and pursue it, and don't let anyone or anything dissuade you from your path. Remember the challenges you faced here and how you surmounted them. You learned grit and perseverance to get here today. And I know you're probably anxious, understandably, to get out and get into the world and start making money. Keep in mind that work is not who you are. So don't forget to pay attention to having a life in addition to having a job. Science is informed by a joyous spirit of discovery. Its searching is fueled by a profound desire to explain and understand the world we live in. That seems to me to be a pretty fair recipe for life as well. Embrace the inevitable challenges you're going to face. Tackle them courageously and enthusiastically. Remember that you're privileged, and that along with your rights as a citizen, you also have responsibilities. Aim high, celebrate hope, don't be afraid to care. Develop your compassion at least as willfully as your bank account. And never, never, ever stop learning, challenging, and thinking. It was Robert Kennedy who said that few will have the greatness to bend history. But each of you can work to change a small portion of the events, and the total of all these acts will be written in the history of your generation. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Dr. Park. Before we commence presentation of our graduates, I have a few housekeeping notes. Families and friends, please remain seated until all the graduates have crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for you to take photos of your graduates following the ceremony. Graduates, there will be 2 photos taken of you by our professional photographer. The first, as you shake the hand of the president in the middle of the stage, and as you heard from him, he's a very friendly fellow, so stay on the right-hand side, shake his hand, and look towards the photographer. The second photo will be taken as you exit the stage. Graduates, out of respect for your fellow graduates, I ask you to return to your seats after receiving your credentials. I now invite the Chancellor of the University of the Fraser Valley, Dr. Brian Minter, to formally confer credentials on today's graduates.
Thank you, Brad. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. On the recommendation of the University of the Fraser Valley Senate and under the authority of the University Act of the Province of British Columbia, I hereby confer the degrees, diplomas, and certificates on the graduates who are present today and those who are unable to be present from the programs within the Faculty of Science, the Faculty of Health Sciences, and the Faculty of Trades and Technology. We're incredibly proud of you. Congratulations to you all.
I would ask Dr. Minter and Dr. Everett to take their places at the front of the stage. And if Tony Luck, Chair of the UFE Alumni Association Board, could step forward to welcome UFE alumni by presenting pins to our graduates. I call on Dr. Lucy Lee, Dean of the Faculty of Science, to come to the podium.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you. Dr. Minter and Dr. Everett, I will now present graduates of the Faculty of Science who have fulfilled all the requirements of their individual programs. I would like to introduce first Derek Harnett, head of the Department of Physics, to introduce the Bachelor of Science candidates. First student from the Bachelor of Science, Brina Ann Arsenal. Brittany Aska. Cynthia Maria Barud. Michelle Christine Bennett. Cara Jean Berner. Anita Brar. Brendan Christopher Baltais. Cheryl Chandra. Michelle Joy Courtney. Zachary John Dow. James David Dukeman. Christopher Dugdale. Paul Jason Foth. Pardeep Kaur Gida. Mandeep Singh Growal. Danielle Marie Hamel. Lindsay Elizabeth Hildebrand. Jason Nyakang Esa Ho. Angela K. Hoogland. Dustin Cameron Jones. Jackie Bora Kim. Taylor Ashley Kirk. Caitlin D. Knuff. Jasdeep Kaur Lali. Robert Wayne Lineweaver. Garrett Victor Macklem Heron. Jason A. Maljars. Shelley Manning. Kelly McLeod. It gives me great pleasure to pause in our ceremony now to present the Dean's Medal of Excellence for the Faculty of Science to Kelly McLeod, a graduate with a Bachelor of Science, Honors Physics with a Mathematics minor. Kelly has excelled inside and outside the classroom. She's not only academically outstanding, but also enthusiastically participated in many UFV events, including the Student Ambassador Program, the Physics Students Association, UFV rowing team, and volunteered in many outreach activities. In the summer of 2011, she served as a full-time counselor for UFV's Science Rocks program, a series of week-long science camps aimed at primary school students. Last summer, Kelly traveled all the way to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, to establish and oversee a similar program there. She also assisted in research, working in the lab of last year's Research Excellence recipient, Dr. Olaf Lian's Optical Luminescence Dating Lab. Kelly is also the recipient of the prestigious Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, Alexander Graham Bell Canada Graduate Scholarship, which is offered to the top-tiered Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council's postgraduate scholars, and is worth $17,500. Kelly will take her scholarship to South Africa, where she plans to pursue a master's research in fluid dynamics at the University of Cape Town. She's thus a very worthy recipient of the Dean's Medal.
Go up and get your picture taken.
Let's continue the ceremony. Jeremy Pham. Claire Elise Filippov. Jerita Cornelia Quick. Cody Ravenstein. Shara Rempel. Cassidy Ann Rusbold. Tejinder Singh. Matilda Ruth Tabert. Jessica Ann Tennant. Erin Laura Marie Anger. And the last student from the Bachelor of Science, Kristen Brittany Wilkinson. Thank you. Hi, Dan. To introduce the Bachelor of Computer Information Systems, Daniel Harris. First student from Bachelor of Computer Information Systems, Abdul Karim Saad Alihaya. Donald Arden. Robert Alexander Louis Buffus. Wei Min Chen. Kekui Deng. Jason Sabio Fernandez. Melwin Oswald Fernandez. Derek Paul Fries. Steve Jensen. Chi Jiang. Manpreet Kaur. Zhu Lai. He is also the recipient of the Diploma in Computer Information Systems. Merwin Lewis. Hang Lee. Wade Martz. Ryan McCann. Mónica Eugenia Mendoza Gómez. She is also the recipient of the Diploma in Computer Information Systems, as well as the Certificate in Computer Information Systems. Willem Mulder. Terrence A. Narayan. Nitin Sachar. Rajiv Sharma. Maud Kashif Sayed. Dylan Gwydion Wagar. Yanfei Zhu. And this is the last student from the Bachelor of Computer Information System, Meishen Zhu. First student from the Diploma in Computer Information Systems, Darren Lee McNabb. The last student from Diploma in Computer Information Systems present here, Amrinder Singh Puni. Now for the Certificate in Computer Information Systems, for first student here, Christopher R.J. Peters. Amrit Pal Singh Sandhu. Jaspreet Mander. And the last student from the Certificate in Computer Information Systems, Harmandeep Singh. And the first student from Animation Arts Certificate, Christopher Joseph McBlain Burke. Kevin Connor Lee. Cody James Mahar. Brittany Rothwell. And the last student from the Animation Arts Certificate, Ryan Smith. Thank you, Dr. Minter and Dr. Everett and Mr. Luck. This concludes the presentation of the graduates of 2013 in the Faculty of Science.
I call on Dr. Joanne McLean, Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, to come to the podium.
Thank you, Brad. Dr. Minter and Dr. Everett, I will now present graduates of the Faculty of Health Sciences who have fulfilled all requirements of their individual programs. Led by Kinesiology and Physical Education Department Head, Dr. Chris Bertram, the following are candidates for the degree Bachelor of Kinesiology. Lisa Brianne Adams. Sean Ashkenazi. Kimberly Faye Bennett. Dana Marie Bloomquist. Pamela Kaur Bola. Brandon Bottrill. Kimberly Nicole Brednahoff. Ronald Wesley Brightman. Stacy Louise Burr. Karanjeet Shahal. Courtney M. Claggart. Laura Clark. Deanne Elizabeth Corbett. Adam Walter Cowan. Sukhdeep Kaur Dhaliwal. Teresa Doan. Alec DeMerton. Alyssa Emond. Kelsey Dana Epp. Dan Urkakovic. James Patrick John Ewart. Sierra Jewel Fox. Kimberly Fox. Chancellor Minter, President Everett, and ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to pause on our ceremony to present the Dean's Medal of Excellence for the Faculty of Health Sciences to Kimberly Fox. She's graduating today with a Bachelor of Kinesiology and a minor in business. The Dean's Medal is awarded annually to students graduating from a degree program who have demonstrated academic excellence and exceptional academic promise. Importantly, students are nominated by the faculty members who teach and get to know them over their years of study. Kimberly Fox is the epitome of the successful UFE student. She is exceptional academically, having earned a cumulative grade point average of 4.04 and an incredible record of achieving an A grade in 34 of her 36 courses at UFV, exactly half of which were A+ grades. And yes, folks, those other 2 grades were B+. She completed her 4-year degree in 3 years by overloading courses and studying in the summer session. And while a university student, Kimberly is fully engaged at UFV and within the community at large. She worked part-time at group homes through Communitas and Menno Place, and also at UFV as a student learning group leader, tutoring fellow students in anatomy and physiology. Kim also has engaged as a research assistant with kinesiology faculty members, as a student instructor in a motor skill intervention research study with children who have fetal alcohol syndrome disorder. In her spare time, she has volunteered as a community cross-country and track and field coach. Kinesiology faculty members describe Kim, and I quote, as a stellar student, the kind of student that faculty love to teach, gifted academically and personable with finely honed leadership skills. In her quest to continue working with people who have developmental disabilities such that they can reach their potential and lead productive, happy lives, Kimberly Fox continues her studies at the University of Alberta this fall in graduate school, where she's enrolled in the master's degree in occupational therapy. We wish Kim every success in her graduate studies and all of her future endeavors, and will always be proud that she is first and foremost one of ours. Congratulations to the 2012-13 Dean's Medalist in the Faculty of Health Sciences, Kimberly Fox. Jessica Suzanne Garneau. Alyssa Nicole Gockel. Brianna Grant. Veronica Gregoris. Sarah Alexandra Grunberg. Sarah Elizabeth Jackson. Samantha Dawn Jameson. Lauren Elizabeth Ketchum. Samantha Lang. Meg M. Larson. Megan Elizabeth Grace Lowry. Sarah Lundy. Amanda Micasso. Heather Leanne McDonald. Brendan McTavish. Amber Rosalind Major. Justin Matze. Kathleen McMitchell. Kevin F. Mitchell. Joshua John Nickel. Lindsay J. O'Hara. Kimberly J. Penner. Alexandra Power. Saltena Cristina Ramos. Brianna Ratzliff. Benjamin Joseph Reed. Kurt Paul Sandhu. Jonathan Scouten. Tamoy Shiomi. Jacob Alexander Stetz. Brittany Christina Patricia Stewart. Kyle William Stunden. Kelly Alana Marie Tansley. Simon Reese DeCat Brower. Laura Jean Ursick. Tricia Vander Gulick. Manisha Vashist. David Andrew Welsh. Braden Corey Wilkins. Jessica Danielle Young. It is now my great pleasure to welcome to the stage area Hannah McDonald, the director of the School of Health Studies. I ask her to come forward. And led by nursing program coordinator Nancy Goad, the following are candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Amanda Christine Adams. Charmaine Allen. Gurpreet Kaur Bains. Lorraine Joy Baker. Brittany Banser. Jocelyn Salomon Bedard. Julia Michelle Bergen. Julie Leanne Boyer. Rin Brar. Brittany Ray Callahan. Andrea L. Cecil. Sarah R. Cuthbertson. Andrea Bridget Dale. Bassam Joseph Daniel. Sarah Christine Douglas. Melissa Dunn. Carly Michelle Esau. Sophia Garcia Paulin. Sandra Isabel Gorczynski. Tiffany Marie Gottson. Allison Jana Graff. Lee M. Hembro. Christopher Joel Hilton. Mary Patricia Hurley. Kimberly Jasper. Bryn Carmita Kirkness. Marina Kushlin. Brittany Sarah Cornelson. Lara Kostaski Hine. Delilah Learn. Charlene Martin. Emma Teresa McAllen Braun. Anna Metalova. Jared Jansen Navarro. Amy Rebecca Norris. Julia C. Palke. Heidi Parsons. Christina Luisa Pereira. Christy Presnilla. Jennifer Melissa Ram. Arnell Remick. Marguerite A. Rayom. Catherine Sarah Roach. Samantha Louise Ritchie. Tara Suzanne Rivard. Subeg Singh Sandhu. Gail Ann Schmidt. Jessica Carey Joy Smart. Jamie Christine Steele. Natalie Rose Steele. Alyssa Lynn Stewart. Gemma Dawn Summers. Matthew Raymond Thacker. Joanna Ellen Thompson. Jessica J. Tolmie. Kazia Elizabeth Tomashevich. Michelle Dawn Van Dale. Haley Van Dyke. Ashley Vandenberg. Miriam Vandenberg. Blaine Arthur Henry van der Wettering. Bethany Olivia Weens. Sydney Jane Weens. Jillian Corey Spring Williams. Mr. Chancellor, led by Practical Nursing faculty member Debbie Job, the following are candidates for the Certificate in Practical Nursing. Jana Lee Candell. Sumandeep Gill. Lisa Hill. Jocelyn Isaac. Heather James. Jolanda Esther Kirchhoff. Dara Danielle Lownley. Tracy Lynn McQueen. Mr. Chancellor, led by Healthcare Assistant faculty member Katie Baird, the following are candidates for the Healthcare Assistant Certificate. Jane Julie Belanger. Stephanie Broom. Ashley Ann Marie Byland. Lyda Lee Christensen. Adrian Enns. Jason Curtis Fenema. Norma Eve Crackman. Jennifer Diane Lloyd. Mai Adele Lombard. Crystal Lee Peters. Carol Lynn Puckey. Jenna Van Wyck. Mr. Chancellor, led by Dental Program Coordinator Rosie Friesen, the following are candidates for the Certified Dental Assistant Certificate. Megan Braddock. Bianca Broadbent. Sierra Calvin. Amber Coleman. Sarah Elizabeth Dew. Harpreet Dewan. Jessica Furr. Marina Gritze. Emily Heinrichs. Kristen Jennings. Cynthia Clausen. Brittany Crook. Taylor Marie McRae. Rochelle McCourt. Linda Margaretha Middleberg. Felicia Lee Northway. Darla Olenberger. Taylor M. Smith. Rachel Thompson. Jamie Marie Vantel. Selena Georgette Wilson. Thank you, Dr. Minter, Dr. Everett, and Mr. Luck. This concludes the presentation of graduates of 2013 in the Faculty of Health Sciences.
I call on John English, Dean of the Faculty of Trades and Technology, to come to the podium.
Thank you, Brad. Dr. Minter, Dr. Everett, I will now present graduates of the Faculty of Trades and Technologies who have fulfilled all the requirements of their individual programs. As is the tradition in our faculty, where present, program instructors will lead their graduates to the stage and introduce them. Our first group of graduates is from the Agriculture Department, led by instructor Tom Bowman.
Actually, today I'm a little bit different there. I'm Professor Dumbledore. I'm standing in for Professor Sprout to proudly introduce you to the students. I got my wand, so you better behave out there. Just to introduce to you two of the students, the rest of them are producing the food that you'll be consuming tonight when you're celebrating your success. Scott Michael Clausen, Certificate in Field Vegetable Production Essentials, and Scott Michael Clausen, Certificate in Horticulture Crop Production and Protection. And now I need my glasses. Remember, I'm very old. I would ask Dr. Eric Davis to come to the podium to present to the very same student the Lieutenant Governor Student Medal for Highest Grade Point Average in a Certificate Program to Scott Michael Clausen.
Thank you, Tom. Last year, with lunch bags in hand, Scott Clausen and his daughter left for their first day of school. Little Peyton heading to kindergarten and Dad off to the University of the Fraser Valley. Scott's journey began when his position as a produce inspector for a major grocery chain was being dissolved. Having found an area of interest, Scott came to UFV to help him reach his goal of working for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. He enrolled in the Horticulture Crop Production and Protection Certificate with a focus on protecting vegetables, fruit, and plants. Scott said, "I was 35 years old and hadn't been in school for 18 years. But it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're dedicated, you can do it." When a CFIA job was posted last winter, Scott applied and now works full-time as a survey team inspector, making sure BC doesn't become infested with the Asian gypsy moth, an insect that could potentially cripple the provincial economy. Scott's overall grade point average, out of a possible 4.33, is an incredible 4.14. I am very pleased to award the Lieutenant Governor's Medal to Scott Clausen. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. The next and last student from Agriculture, Diploma in Agriculture Technology, Alicia Vanderbrink.
Thank you, Tom. Don't forget your wand. What would you do without that? Thank you. Our next group of graduates is from the Aircraft Structure Certificate Program, led by instructor Wally Gallagher.
Five of our graduates were able to attend today, starting with Laura Engler. Michael Miskey. Julius Pattison. Caleb Pedler. And Daniel Riepma.
Thank you, Wally. And our next group of graduates is from the Architectural Drafting Technician Certificate Program, led by instructor Larry Gritzmaker. Larry?
Haley Heemstra. William Benjamin Lowell. Justin Martin. Willem Jacobus Milne. And Dave Jot Sadu.
Thank you, Larry. And our next group of graduates is from the Auto Service Technician program, led by faculty member Dean Key.
First graduate, Jason Adams. Andrew Carson. Jacob Omar Deacon. William Garrick. David Lawton. Ryan Christopher Peters. Courtney Preston. Sheldon Saretsky. And Gary Tillich.
Thank you, Dean. And our next group of graduates are from the Carpentry and Joinery program, led by faculty member Mark Ryan.
Brandon Jimmy.
Thanks, Mark. And our next group of graduates from the Electronics Technician Common Core Certificate, led by Randy Kelly.
Zach Clark. Christopher Merlin Estabrooks. Nick Hendricks. Nicholas Hendricks. AJ Klink. Brent McGee. Lisa B. Bracknow. Ricky Allen Rook. Clayton J. Riepma.
Thank you, Randy. And our next graduate is from the Construction Electrician Certificate, faculty member Rod McLeod.
Jordan Eric Monteith.
Now graduates from the Floral Design program, led by Karen Massier.
Nicole Isabeth L.
And from the Health and Human Services Certificate Program, also led by Karen Massier.
Aliyah Lauren Aka. Rebecca Brown. Nicole Lynn Clark. Katie Ann Eag. Courtney Irwin Hopalock. Sarah Job. Spencer Rodney Justice. Melissa Jean Lee. Emily McMurdo. Michaela Elizabeth Marr. Erica Christina Mowat. Alicia Pastro. Cassidy Ward. Jacqueline Workington.
And from the Heavy Duty and Commercial Transport Program, led by Jamie Ubel.
We had a total of 18 students graduate this year. 3 of us are here now. So, Alex Brown. Inder Dillon. And Jordan Zacharias.
And now graduates from the Hospitality Event Planning Program, led by faculty member Nancy Barker.
Anastasia Barkman. Ashley Clark, or Cashley. Jessica Griffiths. Zoe Harwith. Brittany Jensen. Kayla Reed. Marissa Riddell. Katie Snowden, or Cashley. Ali Stickle. Jacqueline Vandermoren. Wenzi. That's it.
The now graduates of the Culinary Arts program, led by Bruce Corbell.
Bradley Allen Bader. Arden Rochelle Baker. Jasmine Dorfling. Trevor Parker Short. Madeline Pearl Pearson. Caitlin Perkins. I didn't say your middle name, sorry. Jessica Joy Reed. Fans. Sarah Louise Sander. Oh, I gotta try it. Xiaolong Sweeney Swee. Close enough? Ashley Elise Wilmsmeyer. Right? Alyssa.
Thank you, Bruce. Graduates from the Welding A and Welding C programs, led by faculty member Grant Kask.
Our one and only A level here, Chelsea Lynn Van Tol. Our next C level is Luke Anderson. Jake Carey. Jacob Murray Daniluk. Dustin Hansen. John Hergott was our finalist at the Skills Canada competition, where he placed silver in the national competition. Matt Martin. Jude Mitchell. Justin Stanton. Sean Cameron Taylor. Drew McLeod-Trukowski. And our last welding student is Eddie Vischer.
Thank you, Dr. Minter, Dr. Everett, and Mr. Luck. That concludes the presentation of the graduates of 2013 in the Faculty of Trades and Technologies.
Thank you, Dean English, and members of the faculty from the Trades and Technology. I would now like to call on Dr. Mark Everett to the podium, please.
I've sort of hijacked the program here for a few moments. There's a couple of things I'd like to do after I get my hair straight. Thank you, Chef Bruce, for the hat. I know Brad had a few comments to make yet, but there's a few thank yous I want to do personally. First of all, I want to thank the City of Abbotsford and the management team and the leadership team of the Abbotsford Sport and Entertainment Centre for another remarkable job in preparing this facility and enabling us to put on a convocation with no limits on the guests. Perhaps we could show our appreciation for the opportunity to do that. I'd also like to express my very personal appreciation for a group of people who work behind the scenes to make our convocation happen. Led by B.Sc. Terpsma and Leslie Kershane, the Director of Marketing and Communication, their very, very capable team, and the many, many other volunteers from our university who set aside their own work for a couple of days and devote their time to making this convocation work. Perhaps we could show our appreciation for their work as well. And finally, I want to say a few words about a board member. I want to say a few words about a fellow who served on our Board of Governors, voluntary service for 6 years. The University Act limits service on the board to 6 years, so unfortunately we're going to have to say goodbye to them. But the last 2 years, he has served as the chair of the board. And it's been an absolute delight and a privilege as president of this university to work with this board chair, Larry Stinson. Larry, would you please stand? He's a bit of a shy fellow, and I think he thought he was going to get out of his last convocation without us showing our appreciation and recognizing him. Larry, I should at this point apologize for all those very late nights that I called you with comments that started with things like, "You're not going to believe this one," or "Larry, I desperately need your help on this matter." And I always had a warm, welcoming reception. Probably ruined a few Friday nights, Larry. I'm deeply sorry for that. But Larry, a true professional and a man who's truly been devoted to this university. And I know you're stepping aside in your role as board chair and as a member of the board, but want you to know you're welcome at our convocation every single year for as long as you'll put up with us. Larry, we've enjoyed your service. We've appreciated your service. This university is deeply indebted to you. Thank you very much. We'll have other opportunities as a board to toast Mr. Stinson, but I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I would now like to call Jody Gordon, our Vice President Students, to introduce our student speaker.
Well, it is my pleasure to now call on Derek Froese, graduate of the Faculty of Science, Bachelor of Computer Information Systems, to return to the stage to give to the student address for this convocation on behalf of the class of 2013. David, please, there you are, Derek, please join me on stage. Derek not only excelled in his coursework, he exemplifies student leadership by giving tirelessly of his time and getting involved with student life at UFE. To list just a few ways Derek has given back to students at UFE, he served as president of the Computer Information Systems Student Association, where, along with the Physics Student Association, he spearheaded the launch of the Big Bang, one of the best attended student end-of-term events. And Derek still found time to fundraise for Child's Play. As Derek is now with us on stage, let me point out that the role of student speaker is one in which students are nominated by their program and faculty. Each year, a senior committee sits to select student speakers for convocation. At UFE, we believe that being chosen as a student speaker for convocation is one of the highest accolades. And so, Derek, congratulations to you.
As good as it gets. Yeah, thanks a lot. Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and those of you who check the other box on government forms. You've come here today to witness and celebrate a transition that my fellow graduates and I have just undertaken. We want to thank you all for supporting us. Family, friends, faculty, staff, people who we call aunt and uncle, but you're not related by blood and no one really knows where you came from, and the rest of you hipsters who defy being put into predetermined categories. We appreciate how you encouraged us, inspired us, did our laundry, loved us, and invested knowledge into us to prepare us for the next stage of our lives. Life is a series of stages punctuated by transitions, and this transition of graduation is unique in two ways. Up until now, we've been surrounded by guides who are there to help us and show us the way and the way things are done, mostly parents and teachers. Also, all the stages up until now have been in preparation for the next one, ultimately culminating in today, this university graduation, and then achieving a job afterward. As we're here at our graduation, we look towards the future where we're about to enter what some would call real life. We're no longer going to be surrounded by guides who have our best interests at heart, and we no longer have a clear, obvious goal of graduation to look towards anymore. We have to choose our own goals. So, as we sit atop the summit of graduation, wearing our geometric crowns, we look towards the future and wonder how things are going to be. When I look towards the future, one of my worries is that I'll achieve the job I've been working towards, and I'll work 9 to 5, come home, watch the game, eat dinner, go to bed. Work 9 to 5, come home, eat dinner, play Halo, go to bed, and have this cycle of complacency and monotony. You see, I want for us to achieve things greater than that, things of value and things of meaning. So we have to ask ourselves, what are we living for? And how can we live a life of value? Well, one of the answers we could look towards is prosperity. Having a big house, a flashy car, maybe a second house on a lake somewhere, the water slide and a ball pit and a slushy machine and all sorts of good things. In 2010, Princeton University did a study correlating income to happiness and well-being. And the number they came up with was $75,000 per year. Now, this is not the amount of money that you need in order to achieve happiness and fulfillment. Rather, that's the maximum income that can contribute to your happiness or your life at all. Here's how it works. If you have a setback in your life, say your car breaks down or you get sick or something else, having additional money can ease the burden a little bit and lower the stress. But other than that, once you're earning enough that you can cover those sort of expenses, money will not make you any happier or any more fulfilled. Another thing we can work towards is happiness. And as we've grown up, a lot of people have told us, do what makes you happy, follow your dreams, that sort of thing. And our generation actually has a mantra that we use to encompass this, and that is YOLO, or you only live once. Now, YOLO is kind of a poor man's carpe diem, where it could stand for the idea that you only live once, so make life count, do things of value and achieve greatness. We often use YOLO as an excuse to do dumb shit and not be judged for it. I think there's two kinds of happiness we can work towards, and that is instantaneous happiness and then happiness that lasts. A lot of the objects and things that we acquire in our lives as consumers only really provide instantaneous happiness. They'll improve your life for a day or a week, or if it's a really good thing, maybe a month. But after that, you forget about it and you spent the money and it's gone. One of the things that is a big part of all of our lives, myself included, that really encompasses this is Facebook. You know, we go on Facebook and we come up with a really witty status, or we take an excellent picture of our dinner last night and we post it on our walls. People then go like the status and we feel better about ourselves, and it's this narcissistic cycle that just goes over and over again. But I have to ask you guys, when you think about Facebook, do you remember what happened on it a week ago or a month ago? Did what you did back then really have any value or any lasting impression on your life? Instead of spending an hour on Facebook having superficial relationships, maybe we should spend an hour with people over a coffee or a beer having discussions and meaning or pursuing something great. There was a guy named Henry David Thoreau who in the mid-1800s, when he was just a little bit older than most of us are, decided that he wanted to find out what was necessary to live life in the most base sense. So he went out into the woods and he built himself a shack. And then he planted some crops, and he had some books with him and a few tools and small objects, but he really had little to speak of in the material objects section. And he found value in relationships and people rather than objects and things, and chasing after dreams that aren't really fulfilling in the end. He said, "A man is rich in proportion to the number of things he can let alone." And he had some interesting things to say about technology of the day, which in his day was trains and the telegram. He said of the telegram that people use it for superficial conversations that really have no merit whatsoever, and that no one ever says anything of meaning or lasting value using this amazing technology. I wonder what Thoreau would say if he could come today and see all the cell phones that we have, the smartphones in our pockets right now. We have devices in our pocket right now that are not connected to anything that we can use to access the entirety of humans' knowledge from the last couple centuries. It's incredible. It's magic. What do we use those cell phones for? We go on Facebook and we throw digital birds at digital pigs. So if prosperity and happiness aren't going to be something that we want to live towards necessarily, where else can we find an answer? I don't know about you guys, but I often look back on my life and I think, if only I knew then what I knew now, I could do things differently. I could have been class president. I could have got the girl. I could have got the grades, all those sorts of things. So as we look towards the future and this stage of real life that we're entering, who's looking back on that stage with the experience of wisdom? That would be dead people. Unfortunately, they're not very good conversationalists. So the next best thing is people who are about to die. Bronnie Ware, who worked in palliative care for a while, tending to those who are approaching their deaths, noted that there was a lot of common themes of regret that people experience when they're looking back on their lives. The first one was that they wished they hadn't lived according to others' expectations of them. Dave Ramsey, a personal finance writer, says, "We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like." A lot of the time, we search for affirmation at the expense of ourselves. The second thing that Bronnie found with her patients was that they wished they hadn't worked so hard. We kind of have this automatic thing that happens when we graduate or even before, where we work 40 hours a week and we work evenings and weekends to impress our bosses and climb the career ladder. We never really think about if that's worth pursuing or if that's what we want to do. I'm not saying you guys shouldn't get jobs. You got to buy meals. Go ahead and do that. But if we compare the efficiency we have compared to a worker in the 1950s, a worker in the 1950s could work for 40 hours and produce a certain amount of work or make so many widgets. If we compare that to how we are today, we can produce the same amount of work as that 1950s worker did, except we only need 11 hours to do it. Those of you who've taken math know that that means we're almost 4 times as efficient as we were in the 1950s. But instead of working 4 times less and using the extra time to spend on relationships or following our hobbies or things like that, we work the same amount and we use the additional resources we have to buy things, which we don't even really have time to use and that don't make us happy in the end. The next thing that Bronnie found with her patients was that they wished they had had the courage to express their feelings. And I think that manifests in 2 different ways. The first is that we should spend more time telling people that we love them, or that we appreciate them, or that they look nice today. The second is that a lot of the time, we suffer in silence, and when we're uncomfortable, or we don't feel right about a situation, we don't want to rock the boat or disrupt the status quo, so we keep it to ourselves. When really, a simple, polite conversation about it could improve the situation for us and those around us. The next point that Bronnie found with her palliative care patients was that they wished they had invested more in people. Our priorities will determine where we spend our time, and a lot of the time when we say, "I don't have time for this," What we're really saying is that there are higher priority things that I'm not willing to sacrifice. Oftentimes, when we're going to school here, the high priority things are our grades or our tests, and we sacrifice spending time with friends or doing other activities in order to study or get good grades and all that. After graduation, I would encourage you to look at your priority list and think of the things that are top, that are pushing out the other things in your schedule. Do they really have the value and the meaning that is deserved of such a high position? Finally, as we embark on this next stage in our lives, where there's less guidance and no obvious goals to work towards, we need to focus on the things that have value and meaning. Seeking prosperity and happiness won't necessarily fit the bill, so a starting point might be to heed the wisdom of those who've come before us. We shouldn't live according to others' expectations of us. We shouldn't work too hard. We should be courageous in sharing ourselves with other people, and we should invest in relationships. Congratulations to my fellow graduates of the UFE class of 2013. Thank you all, and may God bless you as you enter the next stage of your lives.
Well, thank you very much, Derek. It's my pleasure to present you with a certificate as a memento of your role as student speaker here at Convocation, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Jody. Well done, Derek. As we near the end of our ceremony, we extend an invitation to you all to join us for light refreshments at an informal reception along the concourse. There are a number of other opportunities for graduates and guests. Artona, our official convocation photographer, is available at their studio for single, group, and family photos. Significant Impact Frames is taking document framing orders. The UFE bookstore has merchandise available. And the Alumni Association is showcasing UFE rings, offering flowers and alumni wear for purchase, and opportunities to taste and order wine, and it is past 5 o'clock. Graduates and faculty are reminded to return their gowns following the ceremonies. Could I now have the lights up, please? Could I ask all the family members and friends in the audience to rise and congratulate UFE's graduates of 2013 on their achievement with a hearty round of applause? And graduates, I now invite you to rise and extend your thanks to all the family members and friends here today who supported you during your studies. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask the family and friends of the graduates to please remain in place while the drummers lead our platform party and faculty from the stage, and ushers lead the graduates from the arena floor to the concourse. This concludes the 2013 Convocation for Graduates of Programs in the Faculties of Science, Health Sciences, and Trades and Technology. Thank you for your attendance this afternoon. Good night.